My name is Andy, and this is my video out. Well, I'm transgender. I'm currently a student at UTEP. I'm studying English and American Lit, and I've been out as transgender for about 3 years. I didn't understand. Oh, I didn't know there was a name for it at first. At first, I just like to, dress up in my sister's clothes and everything. After a while, it felt like I was doing something wrong, but more the fact because not everyone else was doing it. Like I didn't really tell anybody about it. I told my dad about it, and he was okay with it. That was kind of my first step to kind of knowing my family was, a little open-minded. But it was more like, he said I was just curious, which I was. But it wasn't until about, I think, middle school that I started realizing what I really wanted, which was, or what I felt like, that I connected more with women. I partially identified as a woman by that time, but I was still kind of fighting it and not accepting it. Yeah, it was. I mean, middle school to high school was pretty emotional, honestly. They've always been accepting. They've always been loving. I had a good childhood. I had a good household and everything. I was still scared. It was more like of society, of my family. I didn't want to lose them. So it took me, it was kind of like my last resort. Like, if I can't do this, then there's like probably not much left for me. But I bit the bullet, and my oldest sister was one of the first people I told, and then my older brother, and then from there I kind of just told everyone individually about what was going on, what I was feeling, and then my parents came along for me to have to tell them. It was emotional, but they're accepting. They didn't really know much about it, but they really took the initiative. Like my mom, this was around the time that I Am Jazz started coming out, started being a little more prominent, and that really helped to kind of bring us closer to understanding it, and for her to understand me as well. I've had nothing but support, even from my friends as well, because I mean, I came out maybe my senior year of high school to my family, but it would be about 2 more years before I finally came out openly and started to transition, started to live full-time as a female. And I got a good amount of support. Like, I've almost received no negativity, no, nothing bad, honestly. And I've felt really, blessed, and just, that I have that much support as well. It honestly kind of makes me feel silly that I was so scared before. But yeah, it really opened my eyes that, I have a lot of people around me that love me, that just want to see me happy, so. Probably not to care what other people think. To love yourself more. to learn to relax. I mean, even that's something I'm still trying to learn now, but learning to relax, because I'd always be so scared of like offending someone else, or doing something that I didn't mean, you know, like if the people around me love me and know me enough, you know, they'll know like if I misspeak or if I come off as a certain way, that's not me. Something's going on, something's, you know, it's not how I mean to come across, you know? Mostly just to love yourself more and to just have fun, really. Yeah. Really, just for more acceptance. More acceptance, if not at least more tolerance. One of the things I try to do, myself in my everyday life, I try to educate people. I'm always open about, like, I'm not trying to, like, you know, hide the fact that, you know, I was born a boy. I transitioned to be a woman. Like, I'm always open about it. Like before, for a while, I hadn't gotten my name changed. So for a while, on like my teacher's rosters, it would come up as Andrew instead of Andy. And so it was always stressful having to try and meet my professors before class started, before they start taking roll. Because, you know, just to tell them like, hey, so I'm a student in your class, but on your roster it'll say Andrew. You know, I actually go by Andi right now. I actually go by Andi if that's not too much of a problem. It never really was. I never met any like resistance to it or any, like, you know, negativity to it. Even like if I wasn't able to meet my teachers and they called my name, I'd still raise my hand sometimes. I'd still raise my hand, you know, because I'm not hiding anything. It's who I am. I don't hate who I used to be. It helped me shape into who I am now. And yeah, I mean, I just try to be as open and about anything as possible. If my friends ever have any questions that are like what does transitioning do? What do your hormones do? I try to be as well, just clear as possible, just so that way, like, you know, if they end up meeting someone else who's transgender, they know what's okay to ask, what's not okay to ask, how to interact with them better. I've had a lot of friends that end up meeting transgender people later that ask me, hey, I think someone may be transgender, you know, for just to learn to respect them better. And so they'll ask me like, how should I go about anything? And I always just say, just treat them like you would meet any other guy or any other girl. Like, it's really that simple, yeah. So that's mostly what I try to do. I just try to be as open as possible. I think mostly tolerance. I mean, I think some people would think tolerance and acceptance go hand in hand, but you know, if it was to kind of enforce acceptance a little more, it would be, I mean, as is, that's already like, everyone's like, oh, that's stepping on my rights or whatever, you know, like, at least tolerance, you know, like, if someone wants to be who they need to be, or love who they want to love, like, it shouldn't be anyone else's business. As long as no one's hurting anyone else, that should be what matters, you know, like, just love everyone else. I mean, because that's all that really needs to happen. I mean, if we can just love each other for who we are and, you know, let people live their life, you know, it's one of the bigger things, I think, is what needs to happen. Just that acceptance and that tolerance. So. I think that I'm a lot more happier. I've had a lot of people, especially like high school friends, that, especially after I transitioned, you know, there are a lot, I was, I guess, well known in high school. Everyone knew me as like, you know, that nice guy, you know. But then once I transitioned and everyone realized like that was going on, I keep getting like, you look a lot more happier now. You're actually smiling now. Back in high school, you always seemed so unsure of yourself or uncomfortable with yourself. And I was like, was it really that obvious? And yeah, mostly that I'm a lot more happier. I'm a lot more outgoing. And, you know, I'm alive. I made it past that like really dark place in my life. And I'm able to make a lot more friends now. Like, I'm actually in a sorority as well. And it's, I guess, it's validating knowing that, you know, I'm just one of the girls and everyone loves me for me, so, yeah.
Yay!